Cartier Love bracelet been bumped off the throne of the most popular designer bracelet around? If you think that you have seen a lot of the Van Cleef 5 motif Alhambra bracelet than you've ever seen, you would be correct. The popularity of Van Cleef has shot up in recent years, and while I've mentioned the brand here and there on this channel, I've not really done a look into why. Why is it popular? Why has it been absolutely thriving? And that's what we're going to go through today. Look, it's no secret that I am not a Van Cleef girly. It's not my vibe. However, I may just be cracking the code on why this is popular with apparently everybody else but me. Guys, if you are new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a self-diagnosed luxury addict. I put out videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so if you like luxury fashion, then you're gonna love it here. So head down there, subscribe, turn on the bell, become a member of our luxury addicted family. When are we going to rehab? Never. Van Cleef and the Alhambra range and all of that is nothing new, and we're going to get into it. But according to Google Trends data, the Cartier Love bracelet was ruling. If you wanted a luxury fine jewellery piece, this was the one. And then something happened. And in 2023, Van Cleef completely overtook Cartier, and it looks like it's not slowing down. It's just been absolutely through the roof. This is Google searches worldwide. And what's particularly interesting is that now we're sort of in this weird space in luxury where a lot of the big brands are struggling. Van Cleef is not. Now, Van Cleef is owned by Richemont. Richemont also own Cartier. So basically they are the big dogs when it comes to owning luxury fine jewellery brands. They have experienced growth during this time when a lot of other brands aren't, and that's been bolstered by Cartier and Van Cleef. They do have other brands in their portfolio, but it's thanks to these two brands in particular that they've been doing pretty well as of late. We're seeing a lot of price increases within luxury brands, luxury bag brands that you would have turned to buy a bag. And so now, whereas the bags before, you know, were like 2,000, they're now 3,000, 4,000. You're now into price brackets that when you're in there, you're like, okay, well, I could have a bag or I could have fine jewellery, you know? And so that's why I think that a lot of people are turning towards and considering fine jewellery, and brands like this are doing all right when a lot of the luxury brands aren't. The other thing that sort of has to be noted is that these brands aren't immune to price increases. They've also done price increases, right? Like Van Cleef and all of that, but they have not been as egregious as some of the ones we've seen from designer bag brands. And that's also helping them win over more customers. Right, it's Van Cleef and Arpels, right, or Arpels, okay? But everybody knows it as Van Cleef. I'm just gonna call them Van Cleef, okay? Or VCA throughout this video. But Van Cleef hasn't always been doing so hot, okay? Things haven't always been so easy for them. The brand was founded in 1906, and Richemont started their process of buying the brand. Their initial purchase was of 60% in 2003, and things weren't really looking great. Now, in 1968, Van Cleef launched the range that now when you think of Van Cleef, you think of. This is the Love range of the brand, okay? And whilst other collections do exist, this is their most popular range. This is the range that, if you are buying Van Cleef for the first time, this is the range you're going to go to. It's the most recognisable, and I think that that's something that we have to place a bit of importance on. You know, when it comes to designer and luxury items, the fact that something can be recognised as such does carry weight. So that's a part of it. It's so popular that, you know, when you see these little 4-leaf clovers, you know Van Cleef, right? Anyway, so the Alhambra range was born in 1968, and at the time they only had the one style. Since Richemont has been owner, 6 styles have sort of been born under that collection. So you have the Sweet Alhambra. The Vintage Alhambra is the one that you will know of. The Byzantine Alhambra, the Lucky Alhambra, the Magic Alhambra, and the Pure Alhambra. And I'm mainly going to focus on this range in this video. Like I said, Van Cleef has other ranges. You've got the Perlé, which I think is maybe their second most popular collection. Everything is got these little gold balls, like tiny little do you remember on some cakes you can get these little edible metallic little balls as decorate? They remind me of that, but in fine jewellery. Rings, bracelets, earrings, all of that. For simplicity, we're going to be focusing on the alhambra. So let's talk about pricing. The cheapest piece currently on the website in the Alhambra range is a sweet Alhambra pendant. On the website, the most expensive option is $182,000, and that is a 16 motif necklace. Basically, the little cheat sheet is the more motifs, the more money. But as part of this range, they have other things. So yes, you have the single motif, you can have many motif necklaces. You've got the between the finger rings, which I do think are quite cool, okay? The motif is like floating in between the rings, haha. They've got a reversible ring, a little 2-in-1, okay? Versatility, girl math, half the price, 2 rings in one, great. Earrings like studs, dangly versions as well. The most popular option, obviously from what we see on social media, I would definitely say is the vintage Alhambra 5 motif bracelet. This is the one that my eyes have seen so many of them. I can actually feel it on my wrist because I've seen so many. Or the single motif pendant. What I think does set Van Cleef apart a lot from other luxury fine jewellery brands is variety. They have a lot of choice. They're always doing something new, which gives this level of collectability. We're going to come back to it. Now, we're just going to compare the Cartier Love Bracelet to this because it's the easiest comparison. And a lot of people attribute the sort of waning in popularity of the Cartier Love Bracelet. Don't get me wrong, the Cartier Love Bracelet will always be famous. She had her time in the 2010s. The Cartier Love Bracelet lived rent-free in all of our minds. Don't sit there and don't tell me that for the first time in your life, if you hadn't considered a Cartier Love Bracelet, you considered it then. Okay? It is very much a classic. It will always be seen to be a classic piece of luxury fine jewellery. I follow a girl who's got about 5 or 6 of them. I'm not going to pretend like I haven't looked at her and been like, that's really sodding cool. However, the thing with Cartier is that there's limited options, and Cartier Love Bracelets are now widely duped, and this is like a very sort of known thing, which I think, because they have limited options, makes that easier. Whereas Van Cleef, although yes, highly duped, I believe a TikTok video went viral on a TJ, American version, Max little Van Cleef inspired necklace. Is it inspired if it just looks exactly the same? For $24, I believe it was. So the dupes exist, right? But I do think that the variety available makes that a little bit harder than something like the Cartier Love. Now, within each style of the Alhambra range, there's a number of different stones that you can choose from, and not all stones are made the same. This is where Van Cleef gets a bit tricky, because not all of these stones are particularly hard wearing, and I don't know about you, but when it comes to fine jewellery, I need to be able to bash these about. I don't want to have to worry about things and think, okay, I'm going to this thing, will my bracelet, ring, pendant be okay? And just to sort of like give a bit of an idea, so there is something called the Mohs, or the Mons, hardness scale. 10 is the hardest a thing can be, and an example of that is diamond. I think that's the most sort of hard stone material that there is. Right down at the bottom at a 2.5 is a fingernail. Okay, think about how weak your fingernails are. Do you want that around your neck? Probably not. Okay, now I'm thinking of fingernails around my neck, and that's going through me. Out of the range of options of stones that Van Cleef does, here's just a bit of an idea for them. Also, right in the middle there, 5.5, we've got glass. 7, better than glass. Not as good as a diamond, but it's probably going to be okay sort of every day. You've got carnelian, agate, onyx, tiger's eye. Then around the glass scale, so from 5.5 to 6, rhodonite, and then again around that scale, a 5 to 6 is turquoise. Does it look beautiful? Yes. Is there a little bit more upkeep? I'm going to get to that. Also yes. Malachite, beautiful, that glorious green. That's a 3 to 4. That's softer than glass. Mother of pearl. Looks great, iridescent, chic, okay? That ranges between a 2.5 to 4. In some cases, same strength as your fingernail, okay? So, Diamonds in Dubai did a great post on this. I'll have it here and everything, but do follow them. They're brilliant for nuggets of information, just fun, beautiful jewellery and luxurious things. They sort of did a little care guide on each of the stones, and for those that are softer, I mean, this is the guidelines, like avoid soaps, avoid perfumes getting anywhere near it, makeup. Water can cause some stones to shrink, right? So take it off if you're going to be by the beach or by the pool. Sweat, take it off when you go to the gym, all of that business. Stacking it with other pieces can cause scratching on some gemstones, chipping them to, you know, like to crack and all of that. So there you go. I mean, lapis lazuli, avoid exposing to heat and prolonged sunlight. Don't take it on holiday with you. Turquoise was if you don't sleep in it, because your natural oils can like cause it to dull and all of that business. Like, I mean, I don't have children, but that sounds similar to bringing up a child. Like, there's a lot of things we've got to take into account here that you can and can't do. That is very important. If this is something that you want, please do a lot of research into the stone and all of that, because as beautiful as some of them are, you want to be able to use them and they can stick by you in your lifestyle. And if your lifestyle is that you're very happy to change your bracelets and your necklaces and your rings in and out on a daily basis, depending on what you're doing, then that's fine. But just be aware. Another way to avoid this is that they also do a lot of the pieces in rose, white and yellow gold. Those you're not going to have an issue with. So like I said, the variety is a reason that a lot of people sort of gravitate towards them, because even though that style might be popular, you might have a turquoise one and the person next to you might have a malachite. And another way that I think they do this very, very well, and this is very clever of them, is their holiday pendant. Each year since 2005, they have released a new stone that is a special limited edition holiday pendant. My gosh, if I was into Van Cleef, I would be eating this up, because this is the sort of thing I fall hook, line and sinker for. It gives that limited edition, it gives that pull. So for the last 2 years, the 2003 pendant was silver obsidian, and the 2002 one was green celadon. It was like a sort of pastel green. Very nice looking. Another thing that is not to be scoffed at as to why these are as popular as they are is celebrity influence, and also how popular they're on social media, but we'll circle back to that one. It would be interesting to sort of see if you remember that Google Trends graph that we were looking at to begin with. If part of that crossover was because Van Cleef has been exposed to a new audience, and by that I mean we are now seeing a load of men wearing Van Cleef that we really didn't used to see before. Rappers, Central C, Drake, Offset, sports athletes, LeBron James, right? At the Olympics, I believe 5 Olympic athletes were spotted with a lovely little Alhambra 5 motif on the wrist, male and female athletes. Whereas I think that it was seen to be very feminine, quote unquote. Previously, because it, you know, it sort of looks like a flower or whatever, a lot of men are now wearing these, a lot of men that people look up to and admire, and it's opening up to a new bout of, you know, men interested in luxury fine jewellery and going, oh, hold on a second, that looks great on him, might look great on me too. I will also say this Olympics, in terms of like luxury watches and jewellery, was phenomenal. I'm sorry, Shelley Ann Fraser-Price in her Richard Mille, very fab. She was running, sodding Richard Mille on the wrist there. Phenomenal, phenomenal. I'm sorry, I know Omega was a sponsor, but I was looking at the Richard Mille. Anyway, that's not what this is about, Cassie. But like I'm saying, we're seeing these on people that you admire and all of that. And whilst some of us can sit here and go, oh, I'm not swayed by if Rihanna's out in something, I don't care. That doesn't make me want something any more or any less, or whatever. Or some people, it does make them want it less. I think that even subconsciously, this feeds into the want for these items. Much like the popularity of other luxury items that in the last sort of like few years have really, everybody seems to be talking about it on social media, like Hermes bags and all of that. Social media plays a huge part. We're seeing these a lot it gets ingrained to you in the subconscious. The next time you're wanting a piece of fine jewellery, you're like, oh, I've been seeing this thing a lot. It must be good because a lot of people seem to have it, or a lot of people that I follow and admire seem to have it. So let me have a look at that thing the next time I'm ready. Even just the fact that people are able to be educated in a different way than they were before, right? You can just be scrolling and you come across a video of this interesting piece of jewellery that maybe you haven't really seen in your daily life outside of social media. And now you know a bit more about it, and now it's a part of your, once again, consideration. For all of these sorts of reasons, Van Cleef is enjoying their time in the limelight, and I don't think it's going away anytime soon. Are you a Van Cleef purchaser? What is it about the brand or about those designs, specifically the Alhambra, but if you buy the other things, then that's also great to know too. What about it pulls you in, got you into that first purchase if it's your first purchase, or if you're a regular customer, what keeps you there, what draws you back in for the next purchase? Let me know in the comments. What do you think about Van Cleef in general if you haven't purchased before? I'm going to leave a link to another video over here in case you haven't already seen it. Have an amazing morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are, and in the words of my father,
if you've enjoyed it, tell your friends. If you haven't, keep your mouth shut.
I'll see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye guys.